In the battle of fire versus ice, there can be no victory. Locked in perpetual struggle, the denizens of Cold Land proudly proclaim that their treatment is the best for all things painful, while the inhabitants of Hotville solemnly swear that their temperature is the one to rule them all. So now, today on a Physio named Jonah, we pit fire versus ice in a duel to the finish for supremacy of the thermometer. Yeah, they're both kind of useful in different situations. Hey everyone, you're watching a Physio named Jonah. That's this guy, where as you can tell based on the intro, I am clearly going stir crazy. Today it's time for another episode of PT in 3, where in 3 minutes I'm going to go over why, in broad strokes, you would choose to use heat versus cold in terms of rehab. This question comes to us from none other than Leslee Larson, aka my mom. So, love you mom, thank you for the question. Let's go ahead and get started with the video in 3, 2, 1, here we go. It's important to note here right off the top that the amount of overall research we have from randomized control trials on the effectiveness of heat or cold in rehab is inconclusive and definitely still ongoing. So today's video is going to mostly focus on what's prescribed in general practice as well as the proposed mechanisms behind why. One of the primary differences between placing heat or cold on an area is the effect that it has on the circulation or blood flow to the skin of that region. Now, if you place cold onto an area of the skin, it's going to decrease the amount of blood flow to that skin because you're shrinking the blood vessels that feed it. This means that you're going to get less blood going to that area of the skin. Meanwhile, when heat is placed on an area, it's going to increase the amount of circulation or blood flow that goes to that region of the skin. This is why when you place heat on an area, it becomes red, whereas when you place cold, it becomes white. Think of red for more blood and white for less blood, simplified. Okay, cool. So circulation, blood flow, what does that mean? Let's go over some examples of why you would use either of these in rehab. Either hot or cold can have an analgesic or pain-reducing effect on the skin that it's applied to, and different people experience this differently. This could be because the stimulus of the hot or cold is acting as a distractor to your nervous system because you're putting a new stimulus over an area of pain. Immediately after an injury where we expect swelling, such as spraining a ligament in your ankle, we often prescribe cold or ice to be placed over the area to decrease the swelling. But let's clarify that. We're not decreasing the amount of swelling that's already there. We're decreasing the amount of new swelling that's coming because we've reduced the blood flow or circulation, which reduces the amount of swelling that builds up. This is why you wouldn't want to put heat over an acute injury like this, because it's going to increase the circulation or blood flow and increase the swelling. In a chronic injury or one that's been around for a while, we more often prescribe heat. This is because the increase in circulation as well as calming warm temperature can help to reduce that long-standing pain. There's also a theory that the increase in blood flow can help to aid in tissue healing. Now, this does not mean that all chronic injuries respond best to heat. I've had patients who find cold more effective for their pain, and if this is the case, then I often tell them to go with what works best within reason. To sum up, placing cold over an area effectively decreases the amount of blood flow that's going to go there, whereas placing heat is going to effectively increase that blood flow. Generally, we prescribe cold after an acute injury to decrease the amount of swelling response. On the other side, we would prescribe heat with an injury that's been there for a while. We want to decrease the pain and increase tissue healing. These are basic guidelines though, and since no two snowflakes are alike, before you go ahead with any self-treatment, I always recommend that you talk to a healthcare professional who can assess you and prescribe individualized treatment. And stop the timer. That's a quick rundown on why you would or wouldn't choose to use heat or cold in a given situation. Now, if this sparked any further questions for you, drop them in the comments section below and I will tackle them there, or potentially make a video on them in the future. Kinda like this one. Thank you all for watching. If you're already subscribed to the channel, thank you again, I really appreciate the support. If you haven't yet, consider subscribing if you enjoyed the video. Subscribing tells YouTube that you enjoy what I'm making, which then helps the videos reach more potentially interested viewers. Other than that, move your body, have a laugh today, and I will see you at the next video.